The next day, Leanne and I get up bright and early. We decide to practice sparring before the others wake up. Our swords clash with a score of heavy blows. Leanna forces me backwards with a huge grin on her face. I'm breathing hard and struggling to keep up as my brows knit in concentration. Leanna sweeps my blade aside and comes back around, but I swing in time to deflect it. Her face brightens and she seems pleasantly surprised.
Wow, that's great! You're getting much better.
Really? Leanna's grin turns devilish.
Hi-ya!
She lunges and I let out a sharp cry, barely raising my sword in time. Her movements quicken as she strikes harder. I struggle to keep up, but I manage to hold my own. Ultimately, Leanna's final move knocks me to the ground. I groan, blinking up at the sky. It's hard to breathe with the wind knocked out of me. Are our spars always going to end like this? Leanna's face appears over mine. She smiles brightly.
That was so much better.
I lost yet again, though.
This time. But you're getting stronger and stronger every time.
That cheers me up a little. Leanna extends her hand and helps me up.
Let's switch gears. You've been doing really well with sparring, so we should practice your magic training. You need to learn to refine your cast.
I know she's right, so I nod. I'm feeling more confident about it now that I know I can cast. I think back on the countless previous training sessions and the frustrations that came with it. Even though I know I still have much to learn before I can reach anywhere near Leanna's level, I'm just glad to be past those early stages.
Alright, practice channeling your energy through your manipulator. And this time, keep your focus on where you want to cast.
So I think I did the Pongo last time. My attention lasers in on a nearby rock. How do I want to do this? To the limits. I close my eyes and focus. A familiar energy whooshes down my arm. This time, it courses too fast. A blast shoots through my manipulator and sends several rocks flying into the air.
Oh!
The muscles in my hand are strained with effort as I try to keep the rocks up. Several of them drop to the ground with dull thuds. The largest stone stays hovering in the air, but it's shaking. I pour out more energy trying to keep it steady. It sends the rock flying higher and higher. Leanna extends her hand. The rock stops trembling. She brings everything back under control, making the rock levitate perfectly.
That was a little too much energy, but not bad.
Leanna looks around and points to a large rock.
Try again on this rock.
I take a deep breath, clear my mind, and cast again. As usual, a solid gust of wind bursts forth, and I steadily float the rock in the air. Leanna claps her hands together, a wide grin on her face.
Yes, that's it.
Hey, I'm doing it.
Really?
The Pongo glances at the floating rock curiously.
Hi.
In one motion, he jumps right onto the rock. The movement startles me, and the rock jolts in midair. Pongo wobbles precariously, and I can feel the nerves set in again as I fight to steady the rock.
It's okay. Don't panic. Just keep your focus. Try to float them towards you.
Alright, it's just heavier now, so I had to adjust my energy output. I breathe in and out and refocus. The rock stops swaying.
Good. Keep going.
A strong breeze wisps around the Pongo, keeping him in place. I close my eyes and picture him floating closer.
You got this.
I open my eyes. The rock with the Pongo floats closer and closer. A huge grin blooms across my face. It's working. The Pongo jumps from the rock onto my head. As soon as the Pongo touches me, I lose my concentration and drop the rock. Leanna giggles.
Great job.
The Pongo wiggles on top of my head. Thanks for being a good sport. Leanna giggles as I pat the Pongo.
I think that's enough training for today. You've made great progress.
Thanks. I can feel the fatigue start to set in, and I'm grateful to Leanna for ending the session.
Let's go rejoin the group.
Yeah, they should all be awake by now, I think. Leanna nods, and the three of us return to camp. As I predicted, everyone else is awake, and even have breakfast prepared. After we eat and clean up camp, we resume our journey. After a couple days of travel, we continue to journey along the path when I notice that thick clouds darken the sky. Kara and Leanna cast worried glances above as a loud crack of thunder rolls above.
This does not look promising.
We should find shelter. We don't want to be caught in this storm.
Amelia cross-references where we are with Elder Isem's notes.
We are still quite a ways from Allendale.
Then we'd better stop at the next city we see.
I think I have an idea of where we are. If I recall correctly, Wolfsden should only be a few hours' travel. We can stop there.
Once agreed, we pick up the pace to combat the strengthening wind whipping at us and make course for Wolfsden. Eventually, we see the tall towers of Wolfsden. We shuffle through the city gates, casting worried glances at the ominous sky. The turbulent clouds don't look any less threatening. People keep their heads down as they push past each other on the streets. They must be looking for shelter from the storm. I look at the surrounding buildings. Most are storefronts which blend into each other as if trying to stay as inconspicuous as possible. As we travel deeper into the town, a few opulent buildings loom in the sky. I guess that's where the better half lives. Leanna shifts uncomfortably.
Is it just me, or are people staring at us?
Looking around, I notice all the furtive glances towards Leanna as people give us a wide berth in passing.
No. They're staring at you.
Zach's comment seems to make her even more anxious. We'll try to keep her hidden, because I know where this one's gonna lead. I step closer to try to block her from view. She blinks in surprise and gives me a small smile.
Thanks, but I'm not sure how much that will help.
Maybe it'll discourage them from staring.
When you remember what kind of town Wolfsden is, it's no surprise everyone is staring at her.
I give Kara a questioning look. And what sort of town is it?
Let's just say that what happens in Wolfsden stays in Wolfsden.
Leanna covers the sigil on her manipulator with one hand.
Maybe this isn't the best place for me to be advertising that I'm a part of the Mage Guild.
Zach nods.
Agreed. You're making them nervous.
The stairs remind me of when I first arrived in Meadowhill. Should we find you a change of clothes to blend in more?
That is a satisfactory suggestion, but perhaps it should be executed without the presence of Leanna. The longer she is in the streets, the more attention she draws.
Good point. Let's hurry up and find the inn. Leanna can stay there, and I'll help her find a more suitable outfit.
As the winds pick up, more people creep out of shadowed alleyways as they seek shelter. I instinctively check my pockets. Something about this place has me on edge. Leanna is equally anxious. While Amy's expression doesn't change, she does seem more alert than usual. Only Zach and Kara seem unaffected. Before long, we reach the inn. I let out a relieved breath as the fire crackling in the hearth warms me. Kara and Zach go to secure us rooms and food as the rest of us sit down in a secluded back corner. Although the lobby is full of people, it's more quiet than the other inns we've frequented. Most patrons drink alone, and those in groups murmur softly, trying not to draw attention to themselves. We aroused a few curious glances when we walked in, but once we shuffled out of sight, people relaxed and forgot about us. The silence grows stifling as both Leanna and Amelia wait for the rest of the group to come back. As I'm wondering if I should say something, Leanna addresses Amy.
There's something that I've been wondering since Hearthpoint, but I haven't had a chance to ask.
Amy shifts her attention to Leanna.
Your mother mentioned that it's taken you a while to get a field study approved.
Yes, that is correct. I understand that such things take time as professors want to ensure the study is a proper fit for the student, but I will admit that I am beginning to become impatient.
She sighs.
Was the process for your field study equally taxing?
Leanna shakes her head.
No, I actually got the first one I applied for.
Amy blinks and her eyes grow wide.
You were accepted upon your first application?
Well, maybe she didn't screw up, Amy. Did you consider that?
Yeah.
She stares at Leanna.
Maybe the process is different for Mage Knights and Mage Casters.
Amy continues to stare. Leanna looks at me and I shrug.
Amy?
I do not understand. I have completed all the prerequisites necessary to apply for a field study. I have even attended supplementary training to increase my potential for the selection. For all intents and purposes, I should be the most ideal candidate for the mandatory field study.
Is it just your professor's recommendation that you need?
Correct, but I have been repeatedly told that the field study is not a good fit for me.
Leanna rests her head in her hand as she thinks.
Do you think it has something to do with your age?
Amy frowns.
My age should not be an eligibility factor. I have proven myself to be capable enough to study as a mage caster.
This is pretty strange. And they haven't given you a specific reason why you keep getting declined?
Amelia shakes her head.
I am quite perplexed by the situation, especially now that I understand my difficulties are not standard.
I can feel the frustration behind her words. Sounds like the Academy has it out for her, and I think she's only just starting to realize that she's being treated differently. Talking out is usually the way to fix a problem, but instead we can be passive-aggressive, bottle the anger up. One day you finally lose control, go on a killing spree, and so on. Let's do this one. I'm not so convinced they aren't treating you differently based on your age.
How do you reach that conclusion?
Well, they're being vague about their reasons for rejection, which sounds to me like they don't have a good reason other than they don't think you're ready to go out on your own.
How can I prepare to be independent unless I am given the opportunity to venture out independently?
By running away, obviously. That's a valid point, and a common dilemma where I come from too. I'm not saying I agree with what they're doing, but this is what I think is happening. Amy looks pensive as the conversation dies down. Kara and Zach soon return with bowls of food, which we quickly eat. As you push our empty bowls away, Kara drops a key into Leanna's hand.
Okay, so here's a key to our room. You can go upstairs and lay low for the rest of the night. I'll go check the shops and grab an outfit for you.
She winks at Leanna.
Don't worry, it'll still be cute.
Zach silently hands me a key to our room. What about the storm?
Oh, I'll be okay. Zach will come with me.
Zach crosses his arms.
I didn't agree to this.
Kara feigns hurt.
You mean to say that you would let a young woman venture outside into the storm, in the middle of the night, in a dangerous city all on her own?
Zach's eyebrow twitches, but tries to remain steadfast.
Guilt-tripping me won't work.
Who knows what sort of ruffians are walking the streets this late? If they were to get the jump on me, then...
Okay, fine. I'll go with you. Jeez.
He pushes himself to his feet. Kara grins widely.
I knew you'd come around.
I'm only doing this so you can't blame anything on me later.
Kara smiles and drags Zach with her as they head towards the doors.
We'll be back soon.
We watch them exit in silence.
Well, I'm gonna call it a night.
As will I.
It is getting pretty late, and the thought of a real bed is very tempting after having to camp out for so many nights. I think I'll turn in too. Together we head upstairs, then split into our separate rooms. I relax in my bed for a while, enjoying the peacefulness of the night as I wait to fall asleep. The Pongo mysteriously emerges from somewhere and hops onto my bed. He bounces over and leans against me before finding a comfortable spot on my bed to sleep. Not sure how much time passes, but I eventually hear Zach return to the room and go to bed. I fell asleep not too long after. Muffled steps in the hallway pull me awake. Blinking my eyes, I look around. The sun struggles to shine through the overcast sky, making it hard to determine just what time it is. Judging by the noise from outside, I'm guessing it's well into late morning or early afternoon. Zach's bed is empty while the Pongo snores softly by my feet. He wakes up as I carefully crawl out of bed, and after blinking bleary eyes, Watt grins widely at me.
Hi!
Good morning. Or I guess, good afternoon. Yawning widely, I push myself completely out of bed and get ready for the day. For once, we don't have an agenda we need to follow while in this town. Wonder what the others are up to and what the city has to offer. Ready to go downstairs? The Pongo shies away and buries himself in my blankets.
Boy!
That's a weird reaction. You don't want to go exploring today?
Boy!
The Pongo shakes his head. Whatever. I shrug. It's not like it really makes a difference if he comes or not. He'll just disappear again anyway. Leaving the Pongo alone, I exit my room and head for the stairs. Before I reach them, I hear a strange noise coming from above. Is there an attic in this place? Let's go investigate. I tiptoe towards where I heard the noise and find a pull-down staircase already lowered. I slowly begin to climb up. As I get closer, I recognize the noise as a series of hushed poise. The poise ceases as I poke my head up into the attic. Sitting in front of a card table is a large Pongo, the pudgiest Pongo I've encountered yet, wearing a three-piece suit and sporting a pencil mustache. A cigar hangs from his mouth. I don't actually see the cigar, though. Two Pongo thugs sit on either side of the table. They all freeze and stare at me. Too shocked to react, I stare back at them. After what feels like an eternity, the pudgy Pongo lowers his cigar. Better get out of here before he makes me a poi offer I can't refuse. Silently, I lower myself out of the room and quickly head downstairs. I think I know why my Pongo didn't want to leave the room today. I think it's best to pretend that never happened. Shaking my head, I go downstairs to the lobby. The lobby is as busy as it was the night before, with the same number of people filling the tables. I spot Zach exactly where I expected him to be, right in front of the bounty boards. Kara nurses a drink alone at one of the tables, but I don't see Lana or Amy anywhere. So, let's check on Leanna. Leanna seemed pretty nervous last night. I wonder if she's still in her room. Making my way back upstairs, I knock on her door. After a moment, her voice calls out.
Who is it?
It's me!
Oh, hey.
There's a silence as I wait for her to open the door, but she doesn't. Is everything okay?
Yep. Everything's fine.
Okay? She sounds really distracted.
Sorry, I'm a little busy right now. Amy and I are kind of in the middle of something. Do you think you can come back later?
Ah, so that's where Amelia is too. Sure, sorry to disturb you. She doesn't answer. That was kinda weird. Hope she isn't annoyed with me. Better leave her alone for now and check in later if I have time. So let's talk to our buddy Zach. I approach Zach at the boards. Hey. He glanced at me, then nods in acknowledgement. See anything good?
Yes, actually.
I look at the boards and let out a breath of surprise. Whereas most of the boards at the end only have a few flyers pinned at a time, this board is covered in wanted posters. Whoa, that's a lot of bounties. Zach grins.
Check out the payout on these things.
He points to a poster of a scarred man with a grizzled face and deep frown. Underneath his mugshot lists a number with more zeros than what has ever existed in my bank account. Damn. Zach nods. I can't help myself as I continue to scan the board, taking note of the offered bounties. Zach grins as he throws my words back at me.
See anything good?
We'll do this one. What could she have done that's so bad? Be too sexy? Zach glances at the poster.
Rumor has it she found out her husband cheated on her, so she, grabbed the kitchen knife and cut off his.
Okay, never mind. Well, the mercenaries should just come to Wolfsden and check out the bounty board here.
A lot of them do.
Really?
Why do you think this inn is so full?
I look around the inn again. That would explain why so many patrons are just people drinking alone. One such man pushes himself unsteadily to his feet and sways over to the board. He leans in until his nose is nearly touching one of the posters, then nods in satisfaction. As he's about to stumble away, he pauses when he sees Zach. He stares at him for an uncomfortably long time.
Hey, don't I know you?
Zach barely bats an eye.
No.
The drunk is undeterred and comes closer. He peers at Zach again, trying to get his eyes to focus. Zach steps back as the man nears. Suddenly the man straightens up excitedly.
No way. You're the Death Slinger.
Death Slinger? At the mention of the name, the inn falls silent. Then tendrils of whispers begin to snake around us.
You're mistaken.
Isn't that what Zach called himself in Hearthpoint? Zach's expression is stonier than usual, but the drunk is unfazed.
I never thought I'd see you here. But it makes sense. Everybody makes it to Wolfsden sooner or later.
You have the wrong guy.
The drunk squints and shakes his head.
It must be you. The trench coat, scar over one eye.
The whispers increase into hurried murmurs as all eyes fall on us. The drunk thinks for a second.
But do you have purple dischargers too?
He reaches towards Zach's holstered discharges and Zach smoothly steps away.
If I were the Death Slinger, would you really want to piss me off?
Zach's icy warning causes the inn to fall silent again. The drunk sways precariously as the modal gears in his head turn. Then, understanding finally dawns.
Oh, right. I'll leave you alone. Sorry.
As the man stumbles back to his table, Zach sits down at an empty table in the corner. I silently follow, feeling the weight of everyone's gaze. When I sit down, Zach glares at the people around us, which causes them to quickly turn back to their tables and resume whatever they were doing. Many of them suddenly seem very interested in their drinks. Zach doesn't seem inclined to talk, but the silence is stifling. That was weird, right? That was pretty weird.
Don't pay attention to him. It's just a random drunk.
The innkeeper walks over and places 2 drinks on the table. Zack looks at him and he quickly speaks.
On the house, we don't want any trouble here.
Zack nods and takes a sip from one of the drinks.
Thanks.
A look of relief washes over the innkeeper's face as he walks away. Gradually, life returns to the inn as people lose interest in us. So, who exactly is the Deathslinger?
He's a mercenary.
Most mercenaries don't silence an entire inn at the mention of their name.
You're right.
He takes another drink. I wait for him to continue, but he doesn't. I don't think I'll be getting any more out of him now. Since things have begun to feel more normal, I relax and take a sip of my drink. Zack and I quietly finish the rest of our drinks. Although his stony frown has lessened, I think it'd be best to give him some space. I say my goodbyes and leave the table. I plop down at the table across from Kira. She raises an eyebrow as I sit. Hey, Kira.
Hey,
She looks amused as she takes a sip of her drink. Got any exciting plans today? She shrugs. Yeah, same here. There's gotta be something more exciting to do. What do you think? A sly smile spreads across her face. She throws back her drink and slams the empty mug on the table.
I think I know exactly what we should do.
I'm not sure I trust that look. What does she have planned? What do you have in mind?
We're going to go gambling.
Okay, let's go to the attic. Maybe we could do something more alone. Going outside in the storm. Wouldn't you want to stay here and hang out somewhere more secluded? Like an attic? Kira shakes her head.
No, I think I'd rather go gambling. Let's get going, my friend.
I follow Kira out of the inn. The streets are deserted as the clouds roil overhead. I glance cautiously at the sky, but Kira remains unconcerned as she surveys the shops along the streets. Finally, she stops in front of a gaudy building. Bright crystals illuminate the signs as they flash distractingly on and off. This place sticks out like a sore thumb. Kira grins as she pushes open the doors. I follow her in and blink as my eyes adjust to the dim room. Even if I hadn't known where we were going, I would have instantly recognized this place as a casino. Half of the room was lined with flashy slot machines powered by mini crystals, while the other half is filled with tables. Both players and onlookers crowd around the tables. In fact, the casino is packed with people. Clearly the storm is not enough to keep these people from their games.
So, see anything you like?
She gestures at the tables. You pick. She weaves among the tables, taking cursory glances at each game before deciding.
Have you played Shadow Knaves?
How do you play?
The goal is to reach a numerical value of 21 with the cards you're dealt.
Get it, blackjack?
You'll start with 2 cards, and you could choose to add cards or stand depending on what you have.
Blackjack. I know this game, we have a version of it back home.
Perfect! Then you'll be a pro. Ready to play?
I'm ready to win. In response, I sit down at the table and place my bet. Kara grins and does the same. After the remaining seats of the table are filled, the dealer begins the first round. He slides 2 cards face up. Although the numbers look the same, the suit of the cards are unfamiliar. I have what looks like a 7 of crystals and a 9 of, swirly dots? Looking around the table, my competitors have a total of 18, 13, 7, and 20. I'm cool. I can't win with this hand, but at least I haven't bust. I better not risk it. I stand. Kara wins this round as her next hit brings her to 21. I play a couple more rounds before bowing out. Kara somehow is a blackjack master and pretty much kills it every round. Some of the skulls and their patrons deepen. I'm glad I'm not a part of the game. They don't look happy at losing all that money. I browse a few other tables and recognize the terror versions of craps and roulette. It's funny how we have fairly similar games, although I suppose not too unexpected considering we're fairly similar worlds. Gambling is gambling. I return to the blackjack table just in time to see Kira abruptly stand.
Time to go.
But what about trying... Kira has a grin plastered on her face as she shakes her head.
Maybe next time, but I think we've had enough gambling for one day. It's time to cash out.
Run. Not even one more game?
Really, it's about time we get going. Trust me.
She doesn't seem like she'll let up. I shrug and follow her. After cashing out, Kira hastens out of the casino. I jog to catch up to her. Something weird is going on. So, what was that all about? Why were you in such a hurry to leave? She smiles innocently.
It was just time for us to go.
Uh-huh. You were totally up to something shady, weren't you?
I don't know what you mean.
Sure. I bet you were counting cards. Kara blinks.
Oh, you noticed?
Wait, what?
What?
That's being resourceful. That's really impressive. You're just using your skill set to up the odds in your favor. Kara seems pleased.
Thank you. I'm happy you understand.
I give credit where it's due. Besides, it's not like that giant business will miss the money anyway.
It's true. There are a few people I could think of who could put that money to better use.
You mean like orphans? Kara whips her head around and stares at me with wide eyes. More specifically, those orphans back at Stonecrest.
How'd you know about that?
I saw you there. I wanted to share my money with them too. Her expression softens.
You gave them money too.
I nod. I felt bad for them.
Yeah. They were just trying to survive in the only way they knew how. I thought if I shared my reward with them, maybe they'll find a way where they won't need to steal again.
Well, now I feel guilty only giving a portion of my reward. She laughs.
Your heart was in the right place.
So, what should we do now? A mischievous grin spreads across her face.
Let's go to another casino.
I laugh. This can only be trouble. I follow her to another casino where we go through the same routine. After winning big again, we part ways and I head back to the inn. So, real quick, I'm suspecting the devs don't actually know how to play blackjack. If you're not familiar with the game yourself, it's not a PvP game. A lot of people make that misconception and they lose horribly because of it. When you play blackjack, it's you versus the dealer. The other players, they consume cards, which helps you if you want to count, but what they have has no influence on whether you win or lose, unless they have the cards you need. That's pretty much it. So the other gamblers should not really have been frustrated at Kara unless they were just jealous. I decided to spend the rest of my time alone. I relax at one of the tables by myself, observing the people and enjoying my free time. It's not too often that I can have some time alone, and with the storm outside, I'm entitled to feel a little lazy. The rest of the afternoon passes by uneventfully. With the dark clouds outside, it's hard to judge the time of day, but the skies seem to be darkening. I wonder if Leanna's done with whatever she was doing earlier. I haven't seen her leave her room all day. I decide to see if she's free. As I approach her room, I knock on her door. Leanna? There's a pause, then a scuffling sound.
Yes?
You okay in there?
Yep. Fine.
Have you had a chance to look around yet? Maybe we go check out the shops.
Well, it's getting kind of late, isn't it? Might be better to stay inside.
Sure. Do you want to come downstairs so we can get something to eat? There's a pause again.
You know, I'm not very hungry. I think I'll stay here for now. Thanks.
I narrow my eyes. Is it just me, or is Leanna acting a little weird? Are you sure everything's okay in there? Leanna opens the door a crack and pokes her head out. Her smile is a little too bright.
Yep, just peachy. Sorry. I'm just feeling a little tired. Nothing to worry about.
She's about to close the door, but I push to keep it open as my scarf is caught in the doorway. Wait! I push on the door to yank my scarf out. The door swings wide open, revealing Leanna's new outfit. She throws her arms around herself to cover up.
Don't look!
My jaw drops as I take in all of her outfit. What little there is of it. Interesting choice. Can you wear this forever? I never knew this was something I wanted in my life until now.
What?
She continues to cover herself, looking even more self-conscious. You should wear this all the time. It's a good look on you. Leanna blushes but shakes her head.
I can't go out in public like this.
Why not? Kara does. My eyes linger on Leanna's chest. In fact, you can give her a run for her money. Leanna narrows her eyes and covers her chest.
That's exactly why.
Is this why you've been hiding in your room?
I can't go anywhere dressed like this. It's best if I just stay here until the storm is past.
It's really not that bad. Leanna just gives me a look. If you don't like it, we can go to the shops and get you something else.
Okay, let me change and then we can go.
I thought you couldn't wear your regular armor. Leanna blinks.
I can't go out dressed like this, though.
Your armor will draw more attention. At least this outfit helps you blend in. She looks uncomfortable. Honestly, it isn't that bad. Besides, we don't know how long the storm's going to last. What if you have to spend days cooped up in that room? Leanna frowns as she thinks about it, then sighs.
I suppose you're right. All right, we can go, but let's make it quick.
Gathering her courage, Leanna leaves the room and the two of us head downstairs. Nobody pays us any extra attention as we exit the inn. I squint up at the thick clouds. There is light rain. We better hurry if we don't want to get caught in a downpour. We make our way down the alleyway. Leanna still gets attention, although not the same as before. She seems annoyed by the sharp whistling from leering men. Wonder if I should step in.
Hey there, baby.
What did you call me?
Leanna grabs the man by the collar and slams him against a wall.
What the hell?
Go on, call me baby again. I dare you.
Leanna's grip on the man's collar tightens as he's pinned securely against the wall. She must be using her wind magic to be able to keep a man twice her size immobilized with barely a struggle. Leanna continues to watch him with challenging eyes, daring him to catcall her again. The man stays silent as he tries to break free. Leanna finally lets go and tosses him to the side. He falls to the ground with a loud thud.
That's what I thought.
The man picks himself up and scrambles away.
You crazy bitch!
Yeah, and don't you forget it.
A crowd of shocked onlookers stare at Leanna.
What are you looking at?
They quickly look away and resume walking. Satisfied, Leanna looks at me with a smile.
Shall we continue?
I'm trying to remember what I said. Damn, lady, you're crazy. Horror movie crazy. Remind me never to get on your bad side. Leanna smirks. We continue down the street and reach the shops. Even though it's well into the evening, all the storefronts are still open. I guess this is one of those cities that never sleeps. Leanna and I enter the first clothing shop we find. She browses the racks, but her face becomes more aghast with every outfit she picks up. She holds up a piece of fabric so short I can't figure out if it's supposed to be a top or a skirt.
I don't think we'll find anything here. Let's go somewhere else.
I follow Leanna out of the store and into the next one. As she browses the selection, she seems even more disappointed as each outfit is skimpier than the next. After checking out a couple more shops with no luck, we entered the last shop on the street. Leanna checks out the racks again, then tracks down the shopkeeper.
Excuse me. Do you have any armor?
Absolutely.
He rummages through the clothing before pulling out what is essentially just a metal bra and thong. Leanna can't hide her horror as the shopkeeper smiles triumphantly.
Here you go.
How is that armor?
What do you mean? It's metal. That means it can protect you.
But what about the rest of me?
He's about to retort, but is left speechless as her words sink in.
You know, I'd never even thought about that before.
Do you have anything with a little more coverage?
The shopkeeper returns to the racks and picks out another metal bra and underwear.
How about this?
How is that better?
Whoa!
Ugh, I am so done with this place!
Realizing that this is a fruitless search, Leanna fumes out of the shop and I follow close behind. She looks down at her outfit and sighs.
It's hard to believe, but I think Kara picked out the most modest outfit available in this place.
Looks like it.
I guess she knows me a little better than I thought.
As we pass a darkened storefront on our way back to the inn, two men melt from the shadows and approach us.
Excuse me, are those manipulators on your wrist?
Leanna and I glance at each other and then back at the men.
Why do you ask?
The second man speaks.
We have an offer which may be interesting to you.
Exactly. As magic users, power in your craft is essential. Luckily for you, we happen to know a secret technique to amplify your casting usage to your fullest potential, no matter the skill level.
What's the technique? The first man hands me a card. The den at Wolfsden is written in curly letters.
Meet us at that location tomorrow morning, and all will be revealed.
Leanna narrows her eyes.
How do we know this is legitimate?
The second man smiles.
Your skepticism is understandable, but we've gone through this exact training and can personally guarantee results.
You're mages? Where are your manipulators?
I glance at their empty wrists. Leanna brings up a good point.
Right here.
He lifts his hand and points to the crystal inlaid ring on his finger. Leanna's mouth drops open in surprise, but she quickly composes herself.
Your manipulator is a ring?
The man flashes the same mysterious grin.
Be there tomorrow morning, and all will be revealed.
They hand Leanna a card too, then disappear back into the alley. Leanna watches them retreat, a stern look on her face. You got solicitors in this world too? It really is impossible to escape them. She barely seems to register what I'm saying. Leanna? She blinks.
Huh?
That was pretty weird, right?
Yeah. Definitely.
I begin to throw the card away when Leanna stops me.
Wait! We need that!
We do?
How else will we find them tomorrow morning?
Wait, we're going to meet those guys? She nods. You believe that snake oil? Don't tell me you believed all that nonsense.
Of course not, but I'm sure other people have believed it. We should check out what it is they're offering, and if it even works.
I shake my head. There's no way it would work.
I know, but we should go just in case. Besides, there's no way those rings are actual manipulators. It's impossible to condense the amount of energy needed for casting into such a tiny crystal. Something doesn't add up.
It does seem a little too good to be true. She nods and pockets the card. Where does she have her pockets at exactly? The crack of thunder interrupts us. We should get back.
Yeah.
We hurry back to the inn. I spot Kara and Zach at a table and we join them. Zach smirks when he sees Leanna.
Nice outfit.
Leanna's cheeks flush.
I don't want to talk about it.
Kara grins widely.
Oh, don't be shy. You've got to own it.
Leanna's blush deepens as she quickly changes the subject.
We were just out and ran into some strange men promising us unimaginable power.
She pulls out their card and places it on the table.
They said to meet them there tomorrow.
Zach and Kara study it.
I've never seen this before.
I have. They recruited me too.
Leanna blinks.
But you aren't a mage. They were looking for magic casters. Why did they recruit you?
Zach shrugs.
Something about being a valuable asset? I wasn't really listening.
We're going to meet them tomorrow morning. Leanna nods.
Same here.
What? Really? Leanna looks equally surprised.
Sure.
Why? I thought you weren't listening.
I wasn't. But from what I did hear, it sounds like a scam for money. Money which should be liberated from them for the greater good.
Why am I not surprised?
All right, let's meet up there tomorrow morning and go together.
Zach nods. As if on cue, Amy joins the group.
Greetings. Have we all gathered here to partake in supper?
That's a pretty good idea. I could go for some food.
I nod. Same here. We order some food and sit together to eat. As we eat, Amelia looks intently from Kara to Leanna. Leanna shifts uncomfortably.
Is there something wrong, Amy?
There seems to be an undeniable trend in the clothing both you and Kara are wearing. Perhaps I should be wearing something similar.
Kara becomes stern.
We need to have a talk about what is and isn't appropriate for you to wear, young lady.
The irony of that statement is not lost on me.
What a good idea. I wouldn't mind seeing her in that kind of outfit. Zach pulls me aside and points to a chair.
Why don't you take a seat over here?
Slowly I sit down. Zach crosses his arms and glowers at me.
What are your intentions?
What?
Do you even know how old she is?
Wait a minute, I didn't do anything.
You sure about that? I have the transcripts right here.
Egad, he does. He points to his head. Once the team has calmed down and talked Amy out of purchasing an outfit, we finish the rest of our meals. Leanna reminds Zach and me to meet downstairs in the morning. Then we all retire to bed. After getting changed, I fall into my bed and drift to sleep.